What's good? What's good? What's good? Thank you guys for tuning in to Voice of the Fans podcast. This is an impromptu show. Since we're both here together in the state of Washington, and hey, I always give you a hard time about the weather report, man. This weather it's a different. This fresh air is different in January, February.
Yeah, you get a little bit of dose of the crisp coolness of the air, the precipitation that moves around. It's a little bit of weather out here.
By the way, it is precipitating out here right now. It's raining out here in the Northwest, as you might imagine. Anybody you might have imagined couldn't get it out of here without it raining. But nonetheless, it's raining, and man, it's nice to see you in person, big dude.
My man,
nice to have you.
Always good to be in your presence.
All right, man. So we had one half of the Super Bowl is already decided. The Cincinnati Bengals upset the Kansas City Chiefs here about 20 minutes ago to punch their ticket on way to SoFi Stadium. So we know who's going to be in the visiting locker room of SoFi Stadium, who's going to be in the home locker room of SoFi Stadium. Is it going to be San Francisco 49ers or the Los Angeles Rams? They're on the field right now deciding it as we go. So we'll see now how things transpire through this game, and we'll kind of keep you guys posted. But what's your thoughts on game one and the Cincinnati Bengals getting over the hump and Joe Burrow taking the NFL by storm this season and making his way into the NFL Super Bowl?
You know, kudos to JB and the Bengal Tigers for getting to the Super Bowl. My goodness, who would have thought that Jamar Chase in his first year, JB in his second year, the first year that they're playing together, that they would be able to accomplish something this special, especially considering they had to go, to Tennessee and beat them, take out King Henry. Then they had to go, to Arrowhead and take out Patrick Mahomes. They've been playing lights out for the last 6-7 weeks. One of the most scariest teams in the NFL. So from that perspective, not overly surprised that they were able to do what they did. However, it did once again expose the fatal flaw of the Kansas City Chiefs, which is they tend to play around with their food. They tend to get too cute. As my man Damon said earlier, they really should have won that game with the last-second field goal as opposed to a last-second field goal to tie the game. Having elected to not go for the field goal at the end of the first half, very wasteful in that last 5 seconds with regards to the last play that they ran, and it ultimately ended up costing them as they came out for the second half. They were only able to score 3 points, so that's extremely disappointing for an offense that explosive.
A lot of teams play calling and clock management and play calling at the end of the half has been a dominant topic of discussion in this NFL season. We've seen one team from LA, which you all want to talk about, make a lot of challenging calls right there on the fourth down. And on the goal line, I saw the guy from the 305 in South Florida, he dropped back in the end zone and threw a lateral pass, and this guy was sacked for a safety. Very similar to what happened to when Tyreek Hill, got tackled on that 2-point conversion attempt behind the line of scrimmage because he didn't have any momentum going forward. So it's I don't know. Who's going to take the most heat for that? The play calling or Patrick Mahomes for execution of the play?
Who's going to take the most heat is going to be the offensive coordinator, the head coach, and the play caller with regards to actually not taking the 3 points. However, I would put most of that blame on Patrick Mahomes and just throwing the ball behind him and behind the line. There was just no way to execute that within 5 seconds. So, you have to kind of understand the situation down in distance, and he should have just thrown it in the end zone. If he didn't get it, you at least still gave yourself enough time to kick the field goal for the 3 points. He didn't give himself enough time to do
that. But is that the play calling, though? Should the coach say?
I don't think that's necessarily
the play. We need to run the slant to Kelsey. If it's not there, throw it out of bounds, and then you still have 1 second on the clock to kick the field goal. Is that the play calling? So you got to call the play. You got to call the play and be very specific with your quarterback, so he doesn't make that mistake and throw it. You hope he doesn't, but so he doesn't make that mistake and throw it to Tariq Holmes, and he gets Tariq Hill. He gets tackled inbounds. Isn't the play calling some of the issue right there?
I would say no. I think that he definitely, being head coach and offensive coordinator, explained all that to Patrick Mahomes that he just made the wrong decision.
Are you sure he explained it to Patrick Mahomes, or he made that assumption? Hey, Patrick, he's a Super Bowl winner.
No, he explained it.
An all Pro Bowl quarterback who should know what to do. Assuming he knows what to do, like you're assuming he knows what to do.
I'm assuming that he knew what to do. That he gave him a few different options on that.
What do we see here? What do we see here? We see Matthew Stafford drive the ball down to the goal line behind the ruckus. Well, I mean, is it a SoFi? Is it a Rams crowd at SoFi behind the ruckus crowd at SoFi Stadium?
You know, the Rams play all their games on the road, as we well know, not having any home field advantage whatsoever. So it looks like the Yay area has definitely invaded SoFi Stadium with regards to their fan participation, but there's still time left in this game. Fans.
Oh, there's a lot.
Let's not worry about all that.
It's a lot. It's way early, but nonetheless, what we see.
Cam likes to pull the plug kind of early, folks.
Pull the plug kind of early.
Let's pull the plug early.
You just identify what's actually going on. I wouldn't say pulling the plug. I mean, you identify what's going on.
Okay, you made it sound like it was.
Matthew Stafford was driving for points. That's critical. You turn the ball over in the red zone. That's critical.
Sure.
That's critical. Well, you acting like that's not a critical.
No, that is important, but you're also acting like that was like the play of the game, like that was going to decide, the fate of who's going to the Super Bowl or not. It's one play, Cam. Learn and move on.
One play, he says.
Just one play.
So, just before the interception, we were talking about Kansas City, their mishap on one play, the one play right before the half. So. How's your and that
was Cam, that's different. That's different. That was 21-3. There were other options. This is with like 5 minutes left in the first quarter. I mean, come on, give the guy some time. I mean, it's his first championship game. Shake off some of the the nerves. He'll be back. He'll be okay.
Shake off the nerves. Okay. So, how Russell doing? How Russell? Have you seen Sierra Russell?
Excuse me?
Have you seen Sierra Russell?
We don't talk. That's not the season for that right now.
I'm wondering
for all that.
Just wondering, have you seen Sierra Russell? Have you seen him? I didn't see him up this weekend. I didn't see him at all.
Well, then,
I mean, I passed by the house. All the lights were on.
I don't know where they're at.
I passed by the house. All the lights were off.
I don't know if they're in town. I don't know if they're vacation. I don't know what they're doing, Cam.
Well, they probably on vacation, get out of this weather.
Maybe so.
That makes sense. But all the lights were off. Like, I didn't go look in the windows. I didn't see if the furniture was still there.
Okay.
But all the lights were off.
That sounds about right. That sounds about par for the course for January the 30th in Seattle.
Okay. They go Miami.
They have the resources to
Costa Rica.
They have the resources to change the weather. Yeah. They can go somewhere else, do something else.
All right. Why you get so sensitive when we
because you're always bringing up Russell Wilson's here where it has nothing to do with nothing. Always trying to stir the pot.
Man, I'm just asking, had you seen your quarterback around town? That's all I was asking. You got all offended.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen him.
You see this, fans? You see, he can't stand to talk about Russell in the offseason. So, Joe Burrow leads his team to 21 unanswered points in the second half against the Kansas City Chiefs. Is that a failing on the Chiefs defense? Or is that what we expect from Joe Burrow now moving forward?
It's a little of both, Cam. I mean, Joe Burrow is that dude. I mean, he's in that top 5 conversation right now. He's in his second season. He's led his team to the Super Bowl, a team that had absolutely no chance of doing that when the season started. So his maturation, his ability to gain that chemistry and cohesion with the paper chase, I mean, it's stuff legends are made of.
Now, you've accused me of being you've accused me of being a little too hasty in my decisions, a little too excitable when it comes to certain quarterbacks. And what I talked about what the Dolphins should do in the draft before they took Tua was reach out to Cincinnati and try to give them their whole draft stockpile of draft picks. You thought I was ridiculous for saying that they should give up the first 3 picks of the draft. I think they had 5, 18, and 28 was the 3 draft picks that the Miami Dolphins had in the first round. Not this past season, but in 20. I thought they should give every one of those draft picks, and maybe a couple more, apparently, it looks like, to the Cincinnati Bengals for the right to draft Joe Burrow. And the article you showed me had said the Dolphins made that offer, and the Bengals hung up the phone as quickly as they could.
As fate would have it, Ken, you were kind of right on the money about that. The Dolphin front office felt the same way with regards to kind of seeing the future and how great Joe Burrow could be, given the opportunity to flourish in a good offensive system and talent around him. So kudos to you for seeing that. I personally did not think that Joe Burrow was going to have this type of impact this significantly.
You weren't the only one. You weren't the only one.
So, it is a little bit he's a little bit ahead of the curve as far as I'm concerned, but he's right there. And he's in the same breath with anybody out there. And with Tom Brady retiring, it's just one more spot to move up, right?
It is another spot to move up. You want to touch on Tom Brady's retirement? Do you need me to explain to you in person why Tom Brady is not the greatest quarterback of all time?
No, not really. I don't really have the time or energy to get into this debate with you once again about the 7-time Super Bowl champion.
There's no
7-time Super Bowl champion.
There's no debate
about the greatest quarterback of all time, quite possibly the greatest football player of all time. So.
I just wanted to know if you wanted me to physically in person explain this.
No, I do not. I do not want to get into a nature versus nurture kind of conversation with you, Cam. It just takes too long. Coaching with talent. It just takes too long. And you still don't understand it at the end of the day. You see it over and over again, but you still don't understand it.
We see it over and over. But, I'm just trying to understand. What's your thoughts on Tom Brady? Did he great career? Did he run his course sheet, come back? What's your thoughts?
Great career. The greatest career that anyone's ever had from the quarterback position.
Well, let's not get carried away now.
How it doesn't take too much to get carried away. You're talking about 7 Super Bowls. Nobody else has as many as 5. So it's 3 ahead of anybody else.
He has more than any franchise, right? But I would.
No, the Pittsburgh Steelers have.
I would say that the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have more. He has more. You just said he has 7. Pittsburgh don't have 7.
Excuse me, Pittsburgh has 6.
He has more than any other franchise. That's a remarkable stat. And kudos to him for being drafted by a well-run organization and playing for the greatest defensive mind of all time. What as fate would have it, he plays for the greatest defensive mind of all time. Would you argue that?
Bruce Arians, I don't know if I call him the greatest.
That's not who I was talking. That's not who I was talking about, and you know it. That's kind of what you. Bruce Arians. He played for Bruce Arians 1 season.
Okay.
When that team was already made
2
up.
2 seasons, but okay.
Okay, 2 seasons. Sure. The team was already made up, right?
Okay.
And when you didn't have the returning or that hunger, the guys clamoring for a Super Bowl title were playing with in that first year that he makes it. Without that, they don't make it. They don't win the Super Bowl last year. But everybody was clamoring. Everybody was hungry for a title. So he goes to a team who's already hungry. I give Tom Brady credit. He can identify a team that's ready to go. That is the credit I would give him. But as for building an organization, building a franchise, building Super Bowl winners year after year after year, that goes to the GM and head honcho of the New England Patriots. And we know who that is. Bill Belichick. We know who that is. So I credit Bill Belichick, fans. If you didn't know, if you questioned or you weren't concerned, I credit Bill Belichick for each one of those championships that he won. Not the quarterback. The quarterback. I can very well credit as he wants to credit the quarterback. I could very well credit the kicker for being the winner of those.
This is very typical of Cameron Reefer type of comments, which is why sometimes you just have to tune them out. To be perfectly honest with you.
Well, you're tuning out.
You just have to take it with a grain of salt.
You just tune out knowledge. If you want to tune this out, you're tuning out knowledge.
How is that tuning out knowledge?
Because Adam Vinatieri, do you know how many field goals did he kick one in the snow and 6 inches of snow when they made the famous tuck rule? Did he kick it in 6 inches of snow where two players
So
had to come
let me
and
get this
clear off
straight.
the
You're
path?
trying to say that the kicker is just as important as the quarterback?
No. What I'm saying is to those championships, the kicker was just as important, and he was
That's so
actually
incorrect. So incorrect. The ball's in Tom Brady's hands more than the kicker's hand.
Actually, the coach should be credited for those championships.
I know, because you're on that coach thing. I'm on that talent thing. Yeah, you can drop as many little plays in the sand as you want. You have to have players to execute it. Okay.
Or players to just move the ball inside field goal range and allow the field goal kicker to come and fit.
Well, all I'm saying is you have to have the players to execute.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just giving you.
And how many Super Bowls has Bill Belichick won with that Tom Brady?
You mean when he coached Lawrence Taylor and
he wasn't head coach then. That was a Parcells thing. He was one of the disciples, along with Cornell.
He was a mastermind.
Yeah, he was one of the disciples
of the greatest defense.
Under the tuna.
He was
one of the disciples under the tuna. Yeah, he sure was. He did a great job of that.
Let me see, fans. I don't know. This may be above your head. It may even be above Cleveland's head.
No, it's not. It's not above my head.
But the Buffalo Bills had a team in the 1990s that went to the AFC Championships. Not one time, not two times, not three times, but four consecutive times. They ran the K-gun offense. If many of you know about Jim Kelly and the K-gun, the run and shoot offense that he brought from the University of Miami and the USFL, and brought to Buffalo in the NFL. When they went to the Super Bowl that first year, who shut them down?
Lawrence Taylor, Carl Banks, Leonard Marshall.
Oh. Who were they guys about?
And that Bill Parcells defense that they were running.
Bill Parcells ran his offense with Mark Favaro. That was his guy. Mark Favaro, Maurice Carthon. Those were Bill's guys. Okay. On the defensive side of the ball, if you weren't familiar, there was a young guy named Bill Belichick running man in the defense there. That was a big.
Okay, well, great job of executing Bill Parcells' plan.
Bill Parcells' plan. Okay, so when you acquire knowledge, you gotta take.
What does this have to do with anything, Cam? We're going around and round and round about Bill Belichick being a defensive coordinator 32 years ago. That's not what I'm talking about, man. That has nothing to do with nothing. I said, how many Super Bowls does he want without Tom Brady? And the answer is 0.
I was explaining it to you. I was explaining. He had as a head coach
32 years ago as a defensive coordinator does not count.
What do you mean? It does not count? How does that? How does that experience not count? How does that experience not count?
Because he's not the head coach.
Okay, so do you give him credit for shutting down the greatest team on turf, the greatest show on turf? Do you give him credit for shutting them down? 20 years later,
I think Romeo Cornell did a great job.
Oh my goodness gracious! So now you're willing to give the defensive coordinator credit?
I'm not saying
credit for
performance. But what I'm saying here is that all of a sudden you're trying to say that Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick is responsible for that, but not the other thing. No, I'm not going with all that now. Not going with all that. He's not won a Super Bowl without Tom Brady. Period.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Fine. Tom Brady won one.
You talk far too much about Belichick, by the way. You talk far too much about him. I joke around. I call him the genius. But oftentimes he does not. Without Tom Brady by his side, he tends to falter quite often.
What happened this year? What did they do? Were they in the playoffs?
Oh man, they got you didn't see him? They got mugged in the alley by the Buffalo Bills. Man, I think they're still in intensive care.
That was okay.
I think they're still trying to get off life support over there.
Yeah, that was a bad look against the but they were in the playoffs, all right?
Okay. Well, yeah, they did make it.
They did make it
10-7. Congratulations.
10-7. All right, with the rookie quarterback?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, just wondering. We having this conversation.
They didn't go far.
10-7
because they didn't have Tom Brady.
So, do you want to talk about your newfound love for Joe Burrow and where was Chase at today? Chase had 54 yards. I mean, half of this was in the second half of the game because he did have to score a touchdown, but. 6 catches out of 9 targets. What was What was Chase at today?
Well, Cam, I mean, given the performance that he put up the first time, I mean, safe to say that they were going to pay a little bit more attention to him than they did last time. So, you know, he was a decoy in some instances. In some instances, they were, double teaming him. I mean, he did what he can do. JB wasn't forcing it. He has other weapons around him, so he just utilized their tools in his arsenal. That's all.
And they
rushed so good quarterbacks too.
And they rushed for 116 yards.
Yeah, Oklahoma running back.
Mixon.
And the other Oklahoma running back, sure.
Yeah. Mixon had a good game. So, I mean, how did these Bengals match up against the 49ers? Let's start there.
With the 49ers, they match up great. They blow them out.
They blow the 49ers out?
They blow the 49ers out.
Whoa. Is this something you want to put on the ticker? Or?
There's no need to put it on the ticker because the 49ers aren't going to be their opponent in the next game. So
okay, so they play the Rams. So you said to blow the 49ers out, fans. He doesn't believe that. But you got the Rams, and what did they do against the Rams?
It's a tough game. First and foremost, let's see what they can do with a guy named Aaron Donald.
The line is already shaky.
Yeah, the line's already shaky, and Aaron Donald puts the fear of God in any and everyone.
So that might be a blowout the other way.
Not saying that. What I'm saying is, first and foremost, that's where they have to start with the protection. Then they have to figure out a way to get Chase open on against Jalen Ramsey. So once they're able to do those two things, their opportunity to win becomes greater. But it'd be a tough game.
But we saw T. Higgins step up today. T. Higgins had over 100 yards receiving. He had 10 targets. Can he or Tyler Boyd? Almost not adequate replacement. That's not the word I want to use, but clearly, going based on what you're saying, Ramsey will be locked up and following Jamar Chase all day long, right? So we expect another 6-catch game from Chase.
Not necessarily. I mean, we don't know if Chase is going to have the ability to, break free on Jalen. We're not sure. I mean, sometimes the timing, back shoulder, breaking down film. He may have the advantage. We're not sure about all that.
So you got the Bengals. If they play the Rams, you got the Bengals.
Had it being a tough, tight, close game. I mean, we have to see what Cooper Kupp and those guys can do on the other side of the ball. I mean, there's two sides of the ball, but
that means you're not sold on Stafford. You're not sold on Matthew Stafford.
I think Stafford is adequate. I don't think it's going to be the difference in whether they win or not. I think the difference is really going to be whether Cooper Kupp can be, Super Cooper or not.
So you think he needs to be Super Cooper for them to win a game?
Oh, for sure.
If he's not doing super things, they're not winning. Is that what you're telling me?
If he's not being Super Cooper, then no, they're not going to
win. So you have the Bengals blowing out the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
And you have them in a tough matchup against the Rams.
Correct.
I think the game might be much easier against the Rams. Before the Rams, anyway. I don't think they can beat the Rams. I know it's going to be a tough matchup for any of these teams, or for both of these teams, because they both get out the quarterback pretty good. So, and then we know that their line isn't. How many sacks did they give away today? We know their line isn't great, but
first and foremost, the Niners simply can't score with the Bengals. The Rams can stay in the game because A, they have the pass rush of Aaron Donald, and B, they have the ability to score points quickly. 49ers can't do that.
The 49ers, if they play the 49ers are trying to get into a shootout with you. They're trying to limit the game to
the
first one to 20.
Absolutely.
First one to 20.
Absolutely. But as you can see, the Cincinnati Bengals are capable of scoring points in bunches. And if you can't do that, then you can't really beat them, right?
There's some truth to that.
I mean, there is no scenario where they just dominate the time possession 40-20 and they win a 13-10 game. That's not going to happen.
The Niners?
The Niners. They would have to win a game like 35-32, 38-34, something along those lines. And if they're not able to do that, then they're just not going to be able to do it.
No, it would be a low scoring game. Who's this getting taken off the field?
Did not see who that player was.
No.
Did not see who that player was.
So we got. So I disagree with your statement there, because I think I think against the Niners, like I said, both of these teams can put pressure on the quarterback. I think the Niners with the Niners obviously is going to be a lower score game because they don't put up as many points. But I think the Niners will revert to a running game to kind of run the clock down.
They'll try that.
Yeah,
they'll try that. And then when it's 7-0, and then it's 7-3, and then it's 14-3, and then 14-6, and then 21-9, and the Niners have to try and turn on some gear that they don't have. And then you have Jimmy Garoppolo out there trying to, rally his team back, throwing the ball all over the place. Well, then you're in trouble, right? And then that's when the onslaught starts. Because you're trying to keep up with a team that you can't really keep up with, doing things you don't really do well. Whereas the Rams already do that well. So, you get 14, 17 points ahead of them, you're still not getting out of your game plan trying to catch up and get back in the game. The 49ers would be getting out of their game plan trying to catch up and get back in the game with the Bengals.
Understood. Well, both games will be interesting. As we know, it'll be Super Bowl Sunday 2 weeks from today. Right now, we got the that's gonna be an incomplete pass, right? You thought he was trying to ground that, right?
If it was behind the line, then that's just too bad for him.
Look at this. I think he's trying to ground this. I think he sees the screen pass. What was that?
It's a touchdown.
His arm went forward. His arm goes forward. Yes, as I thought. His arm goes forward and the ball comes out of his hands. Yeah, it looked like it was weird. He tried to stop his arm in full string and then just let the ball go. The ball slips out. I mean, they're not in a humid area. I mean,
SoFi is well ventilated.
Interesting. That was an interesting play we seen by Matthew Stafford. Like he's essentially trying to give the game up because he throws the pass. He attempts to throw the pass and it looked like he tried to stop his arm from going forward and the ball slips out and where it was recovered and returned for a touchdown. They said it was just an incomplete pass. And on third down, Stafford tries to run for it. He runs. And Stafford runs. It's 3rd and 9. He runs for 3rd and 14. He's
a warrior.
14 yards.
He's a warrior.
Oh boy. Is that what Romo would say? He's a warrior.
I don't know what Romo would say. I'm just saying what I feel about
it. Yeah, okay.
Can't paraphrase for Tony Romo.
Just talk sensibly. You'll beat Tony Romo, believe me. So this game so far, this is starting out as a weird type of game in the first half.
Yeah, I'm not happy. I'd like a little bit more high scoring. I'd like to see the Rams put a little bit more pressure on the Niners, let them hang around, and that's when anything can happen. Just ask your Kansas City Chiefs.
Just rewind the tape from the AFC Championship. Huh?
Let them hang around, and weird things can happen. Ask the Packers why they're still sitting at home because they let them hang around. Weird stuff happens.
And so that's why I told you that interception early in the game was critical. You try to play it off like it's one play, it's no big deal.
Oh yeah, well that was years ago. Yeah,
that was years ago.
That's
20 minutes ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Huh?
That doesn't matter. Especially if they score this touchdown right here, it's not going to matter.
All right, but they haven't got in the end zone yet.
Okay, they're about to get in the end zone. Give them 3 minutes.
Let's see if they don't.
Sometimes you're impatient, Ken. It's right around the corner.
Let's hope they don't turn it over. Just making on you, just walking into the end zone. I mean, just waltzing in the end zone like the Niners aren't even playing them.
Well, I mean, they are, but there's not a whole lot that they can do about what the Rams are doing. I'm going to say 5 plays or less, the Rams are going to score a touchdown.
And 5 plays or less, so 4 plays they have to score a touchdown. Let's see how right Cleveland.
4 plays they will score a touchdown.
Let's see how right Cleveland is. I'm not going to ask him to put nothing on it because I know he'll get nervous and start sweating. He doesn't want to put Irish on it. Doesn't want to put any barbecue on it.
I mean, yeah. Considering all of the payment plans I've given Cam to kind of come through and come clean. But next time, it really don't matter what I put on it. I mean, it has to be some retribution on the other end. So, but yeah, 4 plays. Okay, so Three plays to score a touchdown.
That's okay, fan. We just gonna see how if he.
I'm curious myself, fans. I mean, there certainly was plenty of opportunity to make that happen.
Tyler Higbee, who went out.
Okay, a few injuries on the offensive side of the ball. So
Tyler Higbee was the one who got hurt. So this should be a competitive game. Like Garoppolo's had his chance at kind of coming back and scoring. The Niners intercepted Stafford's pass in the end zone, and with their attempt on their first drive to kind of put this game away. So this is going to be an interesting game. We're going to hold on to see how many more plays it takes for San Francisco to score, just to prove that Cleveland will be making stuff up. And again, like I said, he don't want to put stuff on. He just wants to say outlandish stuff.
3 more plays.
We'll see again how wrong he is.
I feel it.
Who has a better chance? So let's see. What do you guys drinking today? Cleveland, what do you have to drink today? Oh, by the way, we're on location out here in Auburn, Washington. It's a long way, not away from the city of Seattle.
I had myself an old fashioned earlier.
Old fashioned. How the hell holding up for you?
Oh, not too bad. Thanks for asking.
Okay, we're gonna have to do this again.
Fresh a little later, yeah, sure.
I'm just holding on to fans before we let you guys go. We're gonna see what the Rams do. If the Rams actually get into the end zone, because it's a 0-0 game right now. That it's a highly contested game actually. In SoFi Stadium, it looks like there's a lot of 49er fan there in SoFi, so that's kind of strange. And when you're faced with the opportunity, you talked about it the other day, how it makes tough decisions and tough times. When you're faced with the decision of keeping your ticket, going to the game, or selling your ticket, your number was $4,000. When they came over $4,000, you're like, yeah, okay, okay, wife, we can find something else to go watch the game tonight. With the Super Bowl here in Seattle, with the Super Bowl here in Los Angeles in a couple weeks, do you have a number? A budget? What's your budget for the Super Bowl? Would you spend $1,100 on a ticket, or would you spend $1,200 on a game ticket?
I would spend $1,200 on it. I would spend $1,200 on a Super Bowl ticket for sure.
You would spend $1,200 on a Super Bowl ticket? So we talked to Cleveland, mentioned that the Rams will score in 5 plays. Where are we at now?
We have 2 plays left, Cam.
Are you 2 plays or just 1 play?
2 plays.
Okay, so we'll see where they at. And go ahead and narrate this. Let the people know.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Cooper Kupp for a 20-yard gain. They are on the 11. And we shall see if they're able to score in these next 2 plays. I have confidence that Matt Stafford can drop something, even if it's a running play here. But I'm looking more like he's in shotgun. Yeah, I like the split formation. Let's see what Odell Beckham can do on this play for the touchdown.
Oh, sack.
Oh, goodness, a sack by the.
How does that change up your philosophy now?
Not much. They still have an opportunity.
Joey Bosa steps up and becomes a part of the game.
Always living in his brother's shadow. So it's actually good.
But welcome to the party. This is the only Bosa playing this in these playoffs.
I think it was a little bit of hole in there that they didn't call, but that's okay. We still got the 1 play. I'm going to stick to it. I believe Matt Stafford has the ability to get this done here. So,
you're putting a lot of belief in Matt Stafford. Fan, do you hear this?
Or see how this goes.
1 play.
It's the last play to prove it.
The time is running out, and they run the ball. And once again, Cleveland has no idea.
So they didn't score.
And once again,
but they will score a touchdown on this drive, fans. That I guarantee.
He wants to change
that. I absolutely guarantee.
Oh, you guarantee. No points on the board. The Rams don't have nothing to show for it.
With
Let's see
it
what they
being,
do.
it being third down, the Rams will get a first down and score on this drive, a touchdown. For sure.
Well, again, fans, you see how kind of obnoxious the.
I'm willing to put something on. I mean, if Cam is willing to,
he tried to beat me to the
if Cam's
punch.
trying to do it,
He tried to beat me to the punch.
what just happened there, Cam?
Touchdown.
Cam, can you articulate for the fans? I'm so sorry, fans. I was one play off. Sometimes I'm just one play off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, one play,
and you just get raked over the coals, like you don't know what you're talking about, right? Like you just don't know what you're talking about. You're one running play short of what actually ends up happening. I'm so sorry. I can't absolutely predict the future exactly the way it's going to happen. Just the general, gist of what's going to happen.
Oh, is that what you did? Did you call Cooper Cup in the back of the end zone?
Did I just call touchdown on that drive?
Did you call Cooper Cup in the back of the end zone?
I didn't call Cooper Cup.
I don't remember you calling Cooper
did
Cup
think
at
he was
all.
going to be a significant part of this, did I not, fans? You see what I'm saying? You see how he tries to do me? He tries to act like I just don't know nothing. Like I'm just making this kind of stuff up. Like I'm just so far fetched. And then I'm so sorry. 2 plays later.
Where's Richard Sherman? At,
2 plays later.
Where's Richard Sherman? Didn't he start the season with the San Francisco?
No, he did not.
Or
he started the season on the please go get yourself some help list. Started himself on that roster.
I need some help. Was he waving the flag?
Please go get yourself some help. No. Quite a bit of trouble here in the Redmond area. I won't get into specifics, but it was bad.
But he did suit up at one point for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's true, he did.
After suiting up for the 49ers last season.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
So all right, so we got it. It's a 7-0 game. You want to wait? You want to hold off and see if the 49ers can drive down and win the ball?
They're not going to score. They're going to punt on their next possession. So
the 49ers going to punt on their next possession, and because they feel pressure now that the Rams have scored, that you feel this.
That's because their offense is not really that fluid. I mean, it's kind of start stop. Yeah, this isn't the time that they're going to score.
So this game is over now.
No, not necessarily. I mean, we saw last week the Rams have a propensity for turning the ball over at inopportune times. Matt Stafford has a propensity for sometimes throwing the ball to the other team. So, those things are possible. So, this game's not out of hand by any means. But it is well in control. Yeah. And one more touchdown, it is, it's getting close.
So we mean one more touchdown here that you got them scoring on this.
Rams score one more touchdown. It's starting to get a little out of reach.
Okay.
The 49ers on their team to come back from 2 touchdowns.
Right.
Down a lot.
Yeah, I feel you on that. But we do, like as I mentioned, we do have one. I want to hang out and see if you're right in saying that they're going to turn the ball over.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here, my friend. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go one more possession. They're not going to score on this next possession. They're going to punt.
All right, fam. We're going to stick around.
And fans, as you can see, if I'm more than 1 or 2 plays off, you see how he does me, right? So I'm just going to make this statement a little bit more blanket this time.
Yeah,
the Rams are going to punt this possession. They're not going to score. They may turn the ball over, but I don't think so. I think they're just going to punt.
But given the 49ers a chance to just just tie this game up 7-7 is what you're saying, right?
No, they're not. Yeah, they're not going to do that. The 49ers are going to punt.
So you got the 49ers playing on their possession right here.
Yes.
Are they going 3 and out or?
See, that's what I'm saying. See, fans, we're trying to put me in that trap. If they go 5 and out, then I'm a liar.
Well, you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. It took 5 times to play. Yeah, see, I'm not falling for the banana until pipe again. They're going to punt.
Well,
I'll believe it at that.
You thinking too much, man. You thinking too much.
No, man.
You thinking too much about all this, man.
You're trying to make it a little too precise, man. It's still.
So let's see what happens.
Still an imperfect thing that we're doing.
Jimmy G drops back, and looks like it's going to be a run play in this on the first play of the series. but they fake it to Depot, or they faked it and then hit Depot on the wing on a quick screen.
It's 2. So.
All right, it's
So, sorry, fans. They also came back with a stat that said that the 49ers haven't scored a touchdown in how many quarters? A long time.
15 quarters, I think it was.
Yeah. It was 6, but yeah. Dramatic. A long time ago. Let's just put it like that. Well, Ayuk stepped out of bounds.
Or
which was a pretty good catch.
that wouldn't have been the end of the series if he stays in bounds.
As it appears, Ayuk caught like a 35-yard catch there. So they're almost in field goal range. So perhaps they have a little bit more heart than I thought, fans. But I don't think so. I think they're still going to punt on this possession.
You think they're still punting on this possession?
Yes.
That's one guy we haven't heard. We haven't heard yet about Aaron Donald and his. They didn't get flagged on anyway. They had a jumping offsides.
Sometimes you try and get a little extra step to get prepared for Aaron Donald.
But the clock was running down as well, so the clock ran down to 7. That's why he jumped, I believe, because the clock ran down to 0, and he's like, "Yo, we gotta get out of here."
No, he just twitched. He wasn't anything like that. It's been there for a minute, but at the same time, I don't think it's really going to make that big of a difference. They're going to punt. A handoff to Elijah Middle, fans at the middle for middle or no game.
That was a great
no game. By the way, they're on about the 50-yard line. For those of you that aren't in front of a television, they're about on the 50-yard line.
Elijah Mitchell, that was a great free agent pickup mid-season because he was a solid running back for me in the second half of the season. Oh, here we go. Now it's 2nd and 12. It's trying to figure out if the Niners can drive it down and score, or they need to kick a field goal, or are they punting? We're trying to figure out what they're supposed to do or what they're going to do. Oh, wide receiver screen, and that big guy tuck your chain goes dive in the end zone for. So Cleveland, what happened?
So I'm so sorry. So there is one caveat. If Mr. Tuck Your Chain. My guy Deebo Samuel does something crazy, then I can't control that.
I mean, you called them punting on this drive.
I did call them punting on this drive. Unless Mr. Tuck Your Chain
unless something happens.
Deebo Samuel does something crazy, like breaks off and nobody can tackle him because he's bigger than everybody. This is the one aspect of the game that's kind of the unknown that we're a little bit concerned about.
Well, when you expect the guys to tackle?
When Mr. Tuck Your Chain in decides that he wants to do what he wants to do.
So we have a tie ball game right now.
That was a nice answer.
We got a tie ball game, and that's
I'm not gonna lie to you, fans. I was not expecting that.
This is not what you was expecting right now.
That's soldier-esque.
It's a tie ball game.
Soldier up.
So for this next,
still not worried, but yeah.
For the next half of what is this? For the next 37 minutes, how do you expect this game to go? Since you say in the first half of the season,
I expect the Rams to get a field goal. At least a field goal on this next possession. We'll go back and forth for a little bit, and the Rams just be too much. They'll be able to score a little bit too easy. They'll be able to score faster as the game gets a little longer. The 49ers will be put in positions to do things that they're not very good at. That's my prediction.
The Niners will be put in asked to do things they're not good at, like what, passable?
Yeah, like scoring quickly. The Niners typically need 3 to 5 minutes of time possession to score points.
Who's that time of possession that we just saw? I don't know. I don't know what that time of possession was.
That last drive was about 3 minutes.
2:26, that last drive.
Okay, so yeah, 2:36. Okay, and that's not atypical of the 49ers. They did that one time. I don't think they can do that all game long.
Well, you didn't expect them to do that, period.
I didn't say they were never going to do it. I said they might do it, here and there, but here and there is not enough to win this game. The Rams can do whenever they feel like.
That makes sense. So since you got that wrong, Cleveland, I mean, there's not much to hold you accountable now. Do you want to pick a score for the Rams game?
Pick a score?
Yeah, for the game.
It's 7-7 right now. I'm gonna go 27-21.
27-21, and you got the Rams winning.
Correct. Yes.
And that's coincides with your weekly pick, right?
Yes, I had the Rams this week.
So you got the Rams.
See if I can count my point.
For what? Because you had KC?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was against the spread. I thought that you did do it. Nice. Get that.
All right, fans. So we see what Cleveland doesn't know what he's talking about when predicting plays, prognosticating plays, because
I was 2 plays off that one time.
Yeah,
and then Tucker Chain in, did a little bit more than I was expecting him to do.
When did your prognostication mute? That's what he did actually. And I was looking at something. We got 2nd and 9 here, and Jimmy G tried to cock back and throw deep and got hit. 12 for 19. Why the Rams passing so often?
Well, because they're trying to, put the fear of God in these guys, so that they'll stop.
But they have a better pass rushing squad than the Rams have a run blocking team. Also, I guess they're trying to take advantage of their weak secondary, because the secondary is a weak portion of the game.
Oh. Odell Beckham Jr., your guy.
Yeah, oh my God. So we see these guys. We see these guys is willing to stick in here and play. Stafford is using Beckham. Stafford is using Cup as he hit Cup earlier on the touchdown. Question for you, fans. Well, Cleveland, let the fans know where they can find you and get at you for talking this nonsense.
Sure, fans. At Cleveland Wonder on Twitter and Cleveland Steel on Instagram.
You can find me What's Good in Sport on Twitter. That's What's Good, the letter N, Sport Singular on Twitter, and Voice of Fans on Instagram. And we're giving you just kind of a live recap of what's going on here. The Rams have over 10 more minutes of possession, time of possession in this game. However, it's a tied football game. And that's just where the 49ers wanted to be. You guys run all your offense, do all your tricks, and we're going to be right here in the game to just we're going to be right here in the game just as you guys are. So
until we score this next touchdown, and then we got to regroup.
And who scores the next touchdown?
The Rams.
Are they going to score a touchdown on this drive?
I think at least a field goal. I'm not going to go touchdown heavy on them this time, but I do believe they're going to score.
Okay, so you're coming to your senses and kind of taking a notch back, bringing it back down a notch.
I said that before this drive even started, Ken. I said a field goal. But as we're watching,
Cooper Kupp
typically does not drop passes. That's a tough one.
Dropped one right in his breadbasket. All right, fans, I want to thank you again for tuning in to Voice of the Fans podcast. This has been an impromptu NFL championship edition of our live broadcast. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. Give Cleveland a shout out on Twitter or Instagram. Let him know what a good job you think he's doing, as well as myself. Go ahead and hit me up on Twitter. Give me some feedback. Feedback is a gift, fans, and give me that gift. I'm begging for that gift. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your cooperation. I hope you enjoy the rest of Super Championship Sunday and the NFC Championship game. I think he's short. He's short of that touchdown or short of the yard of the game. Probably. That's okay.
He'll go for it.
He'll get it. So, all right, fans. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit us up on social media. And then next week, following the week leading up to the Super Bowl, make sure you stick around for a lot of Super Bowl coverage that we're going to have either on location, live on location, or here with our simulcast of our podcast. So once again, fans, thank you for participating and tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. We appreciate your patronage. Have a great one.